Hi everybody, this is Bill. I am the salty old Marine. Is the VA rushing through claims at the expense of accuracy? Is the VA out to get me? Well, probably not, but let's talk about it. So, lately, I've been seeing more and more veterans claiming that the VA is deliberately denying or mishandling disability claims in order to reduce the backlog. Some veterans have even noticed and asked others if they have noticed that claims are going through the system faster, but so are denials. So, as somebody who's been through the system and is still going through the system, I understand the frustration. Let's take a look at what's really going on. In this video, I'm not going to sugarcoat any problems. I'm also not going to jump to any conclusions or join any conspiracy theories. Let's stick to the facts. Let's stick to the logic and see if we can figure this out, right? So the VA has made public commitments recently, especially after the most recent presidential election, to clear the backlog of VA disability claims. And there are a lot of VA disability claims at any given time. And the number has been coming down recently, but there's still an awful lot of them out there, and it still takes an awful lot of time for a claim to go through the system. Now, when you make a claim that you're going to reduce the backlog, you'll note that what they didn't say was that they are going to increase the accuracy. You could reduce the backlog to zero by simply denying every existing claim. There, we reduced the backlog. Now, I don't think that's what they meant, but they leave a lot of wiggle room in there with their statement to reduce the backlog, don't they? But let's look at it in a more logical way. Ever since the PACT Act was passed in 2022, the number of claims has blown up exponentially, and rightfully so, right? We're adding the presumed conditions, the presumptives, for veterans of the most recent wars in order to make claims that don't necessarily have to be proven. They are presumptive, right? So the number of claims has gone way up. We get that. That was the intent of Congress. And of course, it requires more people. So VA staffing has gone up tremendously, and so has the backlog of claims. So automation, perhaps AI, although I haven't heard too much about that yet, but definitely automation, increased staffing, and contracting some of the decision making to contractors are all part of this effort to reduce that backlog. The real world result is faster decisions, but they can mean less time spent on each claim, which can be good or bad. When you're under pressure, you don't always give maybe your best effort. You're trying to get through the highest number of claims possible. So raters can make mistakes. They can miss medical evidence. They can misapply the Code of Federal Regulations, the CFR, and so on. It's not always a matter of incompetence. It's not that the raters don't know their jobs or can't do their jobs. It could be inadequate training. It could be lack of time. It could be any number of things. It could even be software issues that don't filter the claims out through the right places at the right times, or don't include all the information. We don't know. VA itself has acknowledged error rates in the past. This is not a new issue. Is it intentional? Well, there's an important distinction to be made between systemic flaws and deliberate misconduct. Most raters and most VA employees, I believe, want to help veterans. Many of them are veterans. The federal workforce is has an overwhelmingly large percentage of veterans per capita as compared to the private workforce. So there's a lot of veterans out there, and I can't imagine that most veterans working for the VA want to hurt veterans, right? That doesn't seem to make sense, since many of them are, in fact, veterans. Denying claims in general can make for more work later on. So you might say that just automatically denying claims of that nature is shooting themselves in the foot, because every denial leads to more work later on. So what can veterans do? how do we address this? Well, number one, something I harp on quite a bit, is always file a fully developed claim, an FDC, whenever possible. So fully developed claim, we've talked about this before, we'll talk about it again, but basically it means you've got the in-service event, you've got the current diagnosis, you've got the nexus or the connection between the two that makes it at least as likely as not that your current diagnosis was caused by or made worse by your in-service event. And then you include all your things like your personal statement and your buddy letters, any medical records that you need to upload that tend to support your point of view on your claim. Double check that all of those things are complete and signed and dated. Read through them line by line. Do all the things, right, to make sure that when you upload that claim and press send, it's ready to go. If you are denied, don't lose heart. Use the appeals process. Don't take it personally. I know it's easy to take it personally, but don't take it personally. Read your decision letter. Find out exactly why you were denied or why you didn't get the rating that you thought you should have. And when you've read that decision letter and you fully understand all of the reasons why, then you're prepared to take action. If it was missing evidence, go get the evidence. If the evidence was there and they missed it, then consider filing that higher level review, that HLR, because clearly they made a mistake. But that is how you're going to deal with any rejection that you might receive. So instead of going, well, they just hate me, well, it's a conspiracy, well, they're out to get veterans, or they, whatever, figure out, okay, how do I fix this? What's my next move? It's a chess match. It's not one and done, right? So give that some thought. I've had my share of frustrations with the VA. Absolutely. Been denied, gone through the process, gotten a lowball rating, went through the HLR, got my higher rating. It's all doable. It's all possible. If your claim is sufficient, if your data is good, then you can get what you're supposed to get. That's the whole point of this, is to find yourself correctly rated for your military-related conditions. So I'm just going to say that persistence does pay off, and any errors that are present in a claim can be fixed. You just have to know how to respond, and you have to have the patience to read it and understand and then plot your course to make that correction. So let's hold the VA accountable. They may make mistakes. They may do the wrong thing. I don't think it's personal, but you tell me. Tell me about the claims you've had denied or claims that have been lowballed, and how that made you feel and what you chose to do about it. Did you just walk away? Did you give up? Did you say, well, maybe I'm the one who's wrong and they're the ones who are right? Did you file an appeal? How did the appeal go? All that stuff. Put that in the comments. I'd like to read about that, and I'll be happy to read them all. I'll respond to as many as I can, and let's get that discussion going, right? Let's keep it grounded in facts. Tell me about what happened, not just about what you think happened. But by all means, share how you feel. So this is Bill. I am the Salty Old Marine. Please like, share, and subscribe. And as I said, leave a comment. And as always, have a great day.